Hi everyone, my name is Robert. Today in this video, we are going to be talking about MCP, Model Context Protocol, and discuss some of its usage in the world of AI. Right now, there's a lot of buzz around MCP, or Model Context Protocol. Think of it as the new standard that supercharges AI agents. MCP acts like a universal connector, bundling multiple APIs into a single protocol. This means AI agents can plug into a whole range of apps and services through one streamlined connection, making them way more powerful and efficient. Before diving into MCP, it is important to understand how we got here. The story starts with large language models like ChatGPT. These models are great at understanding language and generating text, but on their own, they don't actually do anything beyond that. They can answer questions, write essays, or suggest ideas, but they cannot directly interact with other software or perform tasks for you. Next came the idea of combining these language models with automation tools like Zapier and Make.com. These platforms let you connect different apps and automate workflows without coding. For example, you can take an email, extract information, then send that info to a spreadsheet or trigger a notification. Pairing language models with these tools opened up new possibilities. The AI could understand what you wanted, and the automation tools could actually carry out the actions. But there was a problem. Each automation platform has its own way of connecting to apps, and AI agents had to be programmed to chain together multiple APIs manually. This made building complex workflows cumbersome and fragile. You had to know the specifics of each API and handle all the integrations separately. MCP transforms how AI agents work. It makes them more powerful and flexible by simplifying access to multiple services. Now, rather than writing complicated integrations, you can focus on building smarter AI workflows that run smoothly and efficiently. It's a big step forward in making AI automation accessible and scalable. So the journey to MCP is really about evolving from language models alone to combining AI with automation tools, and finally to creating a unified protocol that ties everything together. This evolution is what enables the kind of seamless, multitask automation we'll explore next. The first stage of this evolution is large language models, or better known as LLMs. LLMs are powerful AI systems trained on vast amount of text data, enabling them to understand and generate text that can be described as realistic. When you give an LLM a prompt, it calculates the most likely response based on everything it has learned. You probably know ChatGPT because it's been the most famous player in this space since it launched about 2 years ago. It really brought LLMs into the mainstream conversation. LLMs aren't limited to just text-to-text tasks, though. They've expanded into different input and output types. For example, text-to-image models generate pictures from your written descriptions. Text-to-video models create short clips based on prompts. Then there's image-to-image, where you can provide an image and the model modifies or enhances it. To give you a simple example, imagine prompting an LLM with "create an image of a cute cat lounging on a white couch." The model interprets your request and generates a picture matching that description. It's pretty amazing how flexible these models have become. Understanding LLMs is key because they are the engines behind most AI interactions today. They take your questions, commands, or creative ideas and turn them into meaningful results. Everything else, the protocols, the automations, the integrations, builds on top of this core ability. The second stage is combining AI with automation. Combining AI with automation has some of its advantages. There would be increased productivity, cost savings, adaptive learning, and enhanced decision-making. With AI, it introduces cognitive capabilities and it enables systems to understand, learn, and make decisions in which just automation by itself would not be fully able to achieve. This is where robotic process automation, or RPA, comes in with platforms like Zapier and Make.com. These let you chain together APIs, automating workflows without writing code. APIs, or better known as application programming interfaces, is a set of rules and protocols that allows different software systems to communicate and exchange data. The challenge with chaining APIs is configuring these often meant connecting each API separately and managing complex workflows manually. In stage 3, we talk about AI agents. AI agents represent a new step beyond basic automation that just follows a fixed sequence of steps. Instead of having to manually chain tasks one after another, these agents can actually understand what you want and then figure out on their own which tools and APIs to use to get the job done. These agents can work with a variety of tools: Google Docs, Slack, email, Facebook, and more. They decide which tool fits best for the task at hand. This means the agent is not locked into a rigid chain, but can adjust in real time, picking the right APIs and actions as needed. These AI agents are smart programs that can connect to different tools and services for you. They don't just respond to one command, they manage several tasks simultaneously, making automation smoother and faster than ever. For example, you can take an email, extract information, then send that info to a spreadsheet or trigger a notification. Pairing language models with these tools opened up new possibilities. The AI could understand what you wanted, and the automation tools could actually carry out the actions. Now let's start by breaking down what MCP or Model Context Protocol actually is. At its core, MCP is a way to bundle multiple APIs into a single unified protocol connection. Think of it like plugging in one cable that instantly connects you to a whole suite of tools instead of having to connect each tool separately. Now here's how MCP works behind the scenes. When you interact, you chat with the MCP client. This client is the interface that takes your natural language input. The MCP client then translates what you said into concrete API requests. These requests are sent to the MCP server, which holds all the API endpoints you need. The MCP server decides which API to call and routes the request accordingly. To put it simply, APIs are like team coaches. You ask for a strategy or a query. The coach analyzes the playbook, the app, or service, and then gives you the game plan, the response. MCP works like the head coach, coordinating with assistant coaches and ensuring the team plays smoothly so you don't have to go to each coach individually. If you cannot tell already, I am a huge fan of the early 90s Chicago Bulls. In essence, MCP acts as a smart middle layer, translating your natural commands into specific API requests, managing all the connections, and making it seamless for you to work across multiple tools without juggling each API individually. Keep an eye on the API usage logs. Sudden spikes or strange patterns could signal unauthorized access attempts. When should you choose MCP over traditional integration tools? MCP shines in scenarios where AI agents need to interact with many different APIs dynamically and in real time, especially when the interactions are complex and conditionally chosen. For simple, linear automations or when reliability and low latency are critical, traditional tools like Zapier or direct API calls might still be better. In short, MCP is about unifying API access for smarter automation at scale, trading some complexity and latency for a more powerful, flexible, and scalable approach. When working with MCP endpoints, it is crucial to understand that the endpoint URL itself acts like a secret key. If someone unauthorized gets hold of this URL, they could potentially trigger API calls without your permission. That makes keeping these URLs private and secure a top priority. Think of your MCP endpoint URL as a password. Anyone with it can send requests to your server, perform actions, or access data that your AI agent is allowed to handle. If leaked, it could lead to unintended or even malicious automation runs, data leaks, or disrupted workflows. Never hardcode your MCP endpoint URLs directly in your application or in public repositories. Instead, use secure vaults or environment variables to keep them hidden. Whenever possible, add authentication layers on your MCP server to verify requests. Rate limiting helps prevent abuse by limiting how many calls can be made in a certain time frame. Your MCP endpoint will often handle sensitive data, user information, credentials, or confidential content. Because of this, make sure all API calls and responses happen over encrypted channels like HTTPS. Encryption protects data as it travels between your client and server, reducing the risk of interception. Also, review what permissions each connected app within your MCP setup actually needs. Grant only the minimum necessary access to reduce your exposure if one app's credentials get compromised. In short, treat your MCP endpoint as a valuable asset. Secure it, monitor it, and be mindful of the data flowing through it. That way, you keep your automation powerful and your information safe. So let's take a step back and look at what we've covered and where this is all heading. The combination of AI agents with the Model Context Protocol is nothing short of revolutionary. We're talking about a future where your AI assistant isn't just a tool that answers questions, but a fully integrated system that can manage multiple apps and services at once, effortlessly and intelligently. What's really striking is how accessible this has become. In another video, I will go over how to build your own personal AI assistant using MCP with tools like Zapier and Cursor, which can take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes and coding required. Looking ahead, it's fascinating to imagine how this technology will evolve over the coming years. In 2 years, I expect we'll see more streamlined protocols that connect even more apps and services seamlessly. AI agents will likely become smarter at understanding context and intent, making them even more proactive and useful. In 5 years, this could lead to AI assistants that not only execute tasks, but anticipate needs, manage your schedule dynamically, and even negotiate or communicate on your behalf. If we stretch out to 10 years, the possibilities get even wilder. MCP or its successors might be the backbone for AI ecosystems that are deeply embedded in all aspects of personal and professional life. These agents could coordinate complex workflows across industries, making human collaboration more efficient. Of course, this also raises important questions about control, privacy, and the ethical use of AI. That's where my perspective blends excitement with cautious optimism. The potential here is immense. We're moving towards a world where AI can augment human productivity in unprecedented ways. But with great power comes responsibility. We need to keep asking how this technology impacts our jobs, creativity, and society at large. In the end, the Model Context Protocol sets the stage for a future where AI agents are not just smart, but truly connected, able to orchestrate and simplify tasks across the digital landscape. It's a powerful foundation on which we'll build the next generation of AI-driven experiences. All right, that's a solid overview of Model Context Protocols. In another video, I will show you how to start building your own MCP server using Zapier and Cursor. If you want to really level up your automations, MCPs are where it's at. They simplify everything by bundling multiple APIs into a single connection, letting your AI agents work smarter and faster. I've included a link to the Zapier MCP tool in the description below. It's a great starting point to experiment with your own workflows without writing any code. Dive in, explore, and see how much you can streamline your daily tasks. Before you go, remember to like and subscribe if you found this walkthrough helpful. I'm excited to see what you build with MCPs. Until next time, take care and keep automating.